And good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 8th of 2018, as I pass the MGM Grand Hotel and Casino and Entertainment Complex on my way to the dentist, which has nothing to do with any of that. That's Guy's Daily Drive. Today, one of the things, I have no idea where this is going to go, but one of the things that I'm going to talk about is dental health. As soon as I make my way around some of this traffic safely, okay, which is what I have now done. When I was a kid, I gave absolutely no thought to my teeth. And like a lot of kids my age, from my generation, the world was filled with sugar crap cereal, candy bars. I will stay in the right 3 lanes. Sugary crap cereal, candy bars, soda, all kinds of stuff that will rot your teeth. And I didn't spend a lot of time brushing, which I really should have, because I ended up with a lot of cavities, which meant that I got a lot of cavities drilled and filled. And the more cavities that you have drilled and filled, the less secure the enamel of your teeth, which means that sooner or later they can crack. And if they crack, chances are they have to be removed, which is pretty much what happened in my case. I had some really big cavities filled, and then later on they had to be refilled because the fillings either were falling apart or something along those lines. Something happened to the fillings and they had to get redone. Well, if you have to redo dental fillings, that typically means you also need to do a little bit more drilling, so that you can get to some of the fresh teeth material to fill, the great big holes that you now have. Well, what happened to me last year, and it was so odd. I had a God, what was it called? It wasn't a filling, it was a crown. I'd had a crown that was loose, and it would come off every once in a while, and I would pull it out and put it back on, and I meant to get a hold of the dentist and have them look at it, but then based on what happened next, it didn't really matter. I was eating a bagel, a soft, chewy bagel. The crown came out, and before I could stop myself, I chewed back down, and my very back molar, which was next to the crown, cracked into pieces. I mean, literally into pieces. I had just jagged edges where the crown was and jagged edges where that molar had been. So at that point, I really couldn't avoid not going to the dentist. It was no longer something I could just put off. Something had to be done. And this, by no big coincidence, also happened to be when I changed dentists. I have been going to the same dental office for a very, very long time, and it wasn't that I was particularly unhappy with them, but I kept getting switched to different dentists. And the original dentist that I had, who was wonderful, she had to retire early, and we're talking 15 years or more ago. She had to retire early because of arthritis. So that was when the dental roulette wheel started spinning around for me. Well, my wife had been going to the same dentist for a very, very long time, and she'd been taking the kids there too. So I figured, it's silly, and it's not like I was completely unfamiliar with the office, because I had gone there once or twice related to other things as part of the family, which I know sounds kind of weird, but I'm not going to go into it. So I went to see him, and he looked and he was like, yeah, there's, these both have to come out. Both those molars have to come out. And this was the first time since being very, very young, because I had all 4 of my wisdom teeth removed when I was, I think, 18 or 19 years old. And that had been a thoroughly unpleasant experience. One was infected and one was impacted, of those 4 wisdom teeth. So, I mean, literally, it was dental surgery. They knocked me out for that. And it was, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. When you see medical procedures in the movies and things like that, and they do the whole, the anesthesiologist comes in, and it's like, okay, as they're applying the anesthetic, and it's done for dramatic purposes, I get that, but as they apply the anesthetic, they do the whole, okay, I want you to count down from 100, and you'll see the person that's getting the anesthetic at 99, 98, 97, 94, 52, and then out they go. And okay, that can be funny, but it's not accurate. They had me on a gurney. This is when I had the wisdom teeth taken out. They had me on a gurney, and they'd put an IV in my arm. And I remember laying on the gurney and looking up at the IV as they started to slowly put in the sodium pentothal or whatever it was that they were, whatever they use for anesthetic. Whew, that was close, on front and back. And I remember watching them push the needle, or not push the needle, but push the plunger that was going to introduce the anesthetic into me. And that's the last thing I remember. There was no countdown. There was no, hey, I'm getting sleepy, blah, 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 blah. No, it was push the anesthetic in, guy is out like a light. And that's pretty much what happened. When I woke up, all 4 of the wisdom teeth were gone, my mouth was full of cotton, and I was in horrible pain. But in this, that was my previous experience with tooth extractions. So when he told me that he was going to have to, pull those 2 molars, and these were my 2 back molars, lower right side, so right here. I was like, oh God, no. And when I actually went in for the procedure, I was so afraid and so nervous and almost shaking. And my dentist, to his credit, could tell how kind of freaked out I was. And when just before he started, he said, I want you to look at the wall. And I looked at the wall, and he had a couple of, he had several degrees related to various things, dental and medical. And two of them, of course, one of them, of course, was for dentistry. The other one was for anesthesiology. You know, the science of knocking you out. And he looked at me and he said, you know, if you feel any pain at all, he says, you're just going to get a local. I'm not going to knock you out or anything like that. He says, if you feel any pain at all, then I'm not doing my job. And just those simple words made me feel so much better. And he was absolutely right. I mean, he numbed me up and did all the things, and the only thing I really felt was when he was applying the anesthetic, a slight pinch or a little jab with, you know, the needle he was using to do it. But it was like nothing. He pulled the two molars, filled the area where the molars had been. Actually, that was on another trip, but I mean that's what he also ended up doing. And now, 6-7 months later, the material that he put in is set enough in with the bone in my jaw to where he can do some implants. Unfortunately,
in 1 mile, keep left onto Bering Road.
Okay, keep left onto Bering Road. Unfortunately, the insurance company that we have, Delta Dental of Maine, I will call them out here, has refused to work with me to help pay for this procedure, to get these two implants done. And it's not cheap.
Third lane from left.
It is not cheap. We're talking $5,000-$6,000 for these two implants. So we kind of have to have.
Use the left 2 lanes to keep left onto Bering Road.
Yes, I will. I'm going to have to pay for this out of pocket, and I will get some of it back based on this other insurance thing that we have. You know, my wife handles all that.
Turn right onto Middletown Road.
I'm completely clueless when it comes to all this stuff. So that's what's going on with that. So today, I'm guessing we're going to find out how far along I am and when they can do the implants. I don't believe they're going to do them today. Actually, I'm almost positive they're not going to do them today. So take care of your teeth. And if you don't smoke and you don't eat a lot of sugary crap, then you're not going to get a bunch of cavities. And if you don't get a bunch of cavities, you're not going to have to worry as much about your teeth when you get older. This is a cautionary tale. So if you'd like to get a hold of me, you can reach me. Guy@mymac.com, probably. You can also probably, and this is really the best way to get a hold of me, is on the Twitters. My Twitter name is MacParrot. We have a Skype telephone number, and if you don't listen to the MyMac.com podcast, we made a discovery about the Skype telephone number that it doesn't matter where you live in the world. If you call our Skype telephone number from your Skype application, you don't have to put in a 1 or a +1 or a 011 or whatever it is that you normally have to dial to reach somebody in the United States. You can just dial the number direct, 703-436-9501. That's it. That's all you got to do, and it'll get to us. So thanks to everyone who has. Oh, there we go. I forgot. Tonight will also hopefully be another Mac to the Future Go live casts over there on the Facebooks. I haven't talked to him, but it's probably going to be with Warren Sklar, hopefully. Also, the MyMac.com podcast that I do each and every weekend with Mr. Gazmaz. We had such a good time recording the one that we did last week. Of course, we have a good time with it almost every week. Going on 8.5 years, something like that. So thanks for watching / listening, because you can also subscribe to this in iTunes under Guy's Daily Drive. I really, really do appreciate the fact that you have taken the time to download and listen to this little bit of self-therapy that I do 2 to 4 times a week. And I will catch you next time. Thanks again.